We're going to be adding and subtracting fractions today. So if you take a look at our first problem here, you notice I have a negative symbol in there. So when you're adding and subtracting fractions, a lot of them are going to be positive, some are going to be negative, so just keep in mind those rules with integers that we learned earlier. So first step when adding or subtracting fractions is to get a common denominator. So my denominators are 4 and 7. So I'm looking for the smallest number that 4 and 7 both go into, so that would be 28. If you're ever not sure what your common denominator should be, your backup plan should be to multiply them together. So 4 times 7 is 28, so 28 is going to be my common denominator. So 28 is going to be my common denominator, so that means I'm multiplying by 4 and by 7 to get to 28. And remember, whatever you do to the bottom, you do to the top. So if I'm multiplying the denominator by 7, that means I have to multiply the numerator by 7. So 4 times 7 is 28. And 7 times 4 is 28, so that's how I got my common denominator of 28. And whatever I did to the bottom, I have to do the top. So 3 times 7 is 21, put plus sign in there, and then negative 6 times 4 is going to give me negative 24. So once you have your common denominator and you've changed your numerators, you're just going to kind of follow the signs like we did when we were adding and subtracting integers earlier. So adding the negative is the same thing as subtracting. So I'm doing basically 21 minus 24 or 21 plus negative 24. Either way you want to think about it is fine. So it's going to give me a negative 3 over 28. I can't simplify that at all, so that's going to be my answer. Your negative symbol, you should either write with the top number or out front. So negative 3 over 28 would be my answer. Next one, so I need a common denominator, so I have 3 and 11, so I'm thinking of a number that 3 and 11 both go into. If you're not sure, you can just multiply them together as a backup plan. So 3 times 11 is 33. So I know 33 has to be my denominator. So to go from 11 to 33, that's times 3. So I know I need to do times 3 on this fraction. And 3 to 33 is times 11, so times 11 on my first fraction. So negative 2 times 11 is negative 22, and negative 10 times 3 is negative 30. So I have negative 22 plus negative 30, so that's going to give me negative 52 over 33. Okay, I have an improper fraction here. If you can simplify in a fraction, I expect you to. So I have improper, so I can change this to a mixed number. So 33 goes into 52 one time. And then I need to figure out how many leftovers there are, so I can do like 52 minus 33 to figure that out. So there are 19 leftovers, and we should have a negative. So negative 1 and 19 over 33 would be my final answer. So 33 went into 52 one time, and there was 19 left over, because I did 33 times 1 is 33, and then 52 minus 33 got me to that 19 for my leftovers for my numerator. Okay, next one I have 4 minus 9/4. So this one I have a whole number. If you have a whole number, you need to put it over 1, and now you have a fraction. So anytime you have a whole number, just put a 1 on the bottom, and then you have a fraction. So I have 1 and 4 for my denominators. So I think 4 is going to be my common denominator here. Okay, so 4 times 1 is 4. So you can write times 1 here if you want to, but you don't have to for this one because that fraction is just going to stay the same. And then going from 1 to 4, that's multiplying by 4. So my top should be 16. All right, so then 16 minus 9 gets me to 7. So I have 7 over 4. An improper fraction, so I have to simplify. So 4 goes into 7 one time, and there are 3 left over. All right, next one. So I have 1/3 minus negative 4/5. So common denominator, I have 3 and 5, so I think 15 is gonna be my common denominator. So 3 times 5 is 15, so times 5 on top. Then I have minus a negative, and then 5 times 3 is 15, so times 3 in here. So 4 times 3 is 12. Okay, so I have minus a negative, so that's going to change into addition. So minus and negative is the same thing as adding. So 5 plus 12 is 17. And then that's an improper fraction, so I need to simplify. So it's gonna be 1 2/15. So 15 goes into 17 one time, and there's 2 left over. All right, last one. So I have negative 3/2 minus 1/8. So common denominator, if you wanted to multiply these together and do 16 as your common denominator, that will absolutely work and get you the right answer. You're just gonna have to simplify a little bit more at the end. So you can do 16 if you want to. For 2 and 8, I noticed that they both go into 8, so I'm gonna choose 8 as my common denominator. But again, if you do 16, you should get the same answer. You just have to simplify a little more at the end. So this one's gonna stay 1/8, and my other fraction, 2 times 4 is 8, so I'm gonna multiply by 4 on top. So that's gonna give me negative 12. All right, so negative 12 minus 1, we have negative 13 over 8. All right, so it's improper, so I gotta simplify it again. So I'm gonna have negative 1. So 8 goes into 13 one time, and then I have to figure out how many are gonna be left over. So we're gonna have 5 left over. So 8 goes into 13 once, and then there's 5 left over to get up to that 13. So negative 1 5/8 is gonna be my final answer. So when you're solving fractions, make sure you're finding a common denominator first. Don't forget to multiply the numerator by whatever you multiply the denominator by, and then just watch out for your signs. Some of these are trying to trick you with the positives and the negatives.